Hello chess family, it's me National Master Jesse James. It's time for another installment for Instructive Chess Miniatures. And you guys are in a treat today with Rubinstein's, I'll go ahead and call it, an Immortal game. It is such a beautiful game. Don't be surprised if I get a little lost later, even though I have the computer giving me answers in case I need it. This is so complicated, there's so many different fun variations here. Yeah, I'm already excited to go over this. One thing I will say real quick is White, his opponent just makes a few inaccuracies, mind you, inaccuracies. None of them, I believe, are big blunders at all. And he just gets demolished. He just gets wiped off the board. I wouldn't be surprised if after this game he fell off. He just fell off his chair because this is just an incredible game. All right, here we go. We start off with d4, d5, knight f3, e6, e3, c5. Looks like we got a Charash over here. Pawn c4. Not a move I like, but it's equality at least, right? Here, both of them actually get the chance to take each other into isolated queen's pawns, which I feel like a lot of beginners are not very happy to go into. With that being said, a lot of strong players do like to play isolated pawns. Myself, that's definitely one of the strong players, but also one of the best positional players in history, Anatoly Karpov. So definitely rethink that. I'll definitely be doing some videos later on about how to play against it, but also how to play with it. All right, knight c6 gets played. Oh, real quick, I do want to show you how do you give your opponent the isolated pawn. You can just go ahead and take here on d5, or black can just take here on d4. E takes d4, c takes d4, and here we would get into the isolated pawn. The same thing will happen here for black. After knight c6, we can just go ahead and play knight c3, knight f6, and here he could force it by go ahead and playing d takes c5, bishop takes c5, and here in the game he played a3. But here he could have made the isolated pawn by playing c takes on d5 here. Again, this is not so bad, so he goes ahead and plays pawn to a3, looking for a tempo to expand on the queen side with this pawn to b4. Alright, a6, looking to do the same thing, almost a symmetrical position, minus this exchange here on c5. To take is a mistake, and whenever you release the tension, it's usually better for your opponent. So definitely Rubinstein definitely got the better out of this, especially for a free tempo to develop the bishop. But for the most part, it is still an equal position. All right, here we go. Pawn b4, bishop back to d6, bishop to b2, castles over here, and queen to d2. Hopefully nobody fell for the bad c takes, e takes, knight takes, and queen takes d5. I won a pawn. I'm sorry, no you didn't. Bishop takes b4, and now you're looking a little embarrassed with you following your queen. Ugh, let's not do that. So, of course, this pawn was taboo. He plays queen d2 here, just getting ready to... he develops the queen. He's trying to fight this tempo, and this is what Rubinstein is going to be taking advantage of him. The tempo here is that he's waiting for d takes c4 so the bishop can come out. Well, Rubinstein's very smart. He's not going to be allowing that. He keeps developing and not letting his opponent get that. Queen to e7. Bishop to d3. Hey, wait a second. Can't we grab the pawn now? Again, you have to be careful with this guy, Rubinstein. He's pretty good over here. If you do try to take this pawn again, you're going to be getting into some surprises. So c takes, e takes, knight takes, queen takes d5. Did I win a pawn? Yes, you did, but now black is going to have really good competition here. Rook to d8, now threatening bishop takes on b4. What do you play here? I guess queen back to b3. Ugh. And now there's some beautiful moves here that you can go into. Yeah, black definitely has enough for this pawn. What can we play here that's very strong? I mean, I think just playing simple chess with bishop g4 is just good. Just trying to keep developing, and white's having a hard time trying to castle over here, at least as soon as possible. So, bishop to d3 gets played. And only now, after you move the bishop, the rule is to go ahead and take so that the bishop has to move twice. Bishop takes on c4. And now black is able to get the exact same kind of compensation. It's almost pretty much a symmetrical position here. The only difference is the queens and the bishops. So we get the same tempo. Pawn to b5, bishop to d3, just like Rubinstein over here, pretty much just copying him. Rook to d8, very nice move here. Putting your rook opposite of your opponent's queen, always a good idea. Queen to e2, trying to get out of it, another very good idea. Bishop b7, castles, and now it's black's move. I will challenge you, what would you play here as black? I really like the move played here by Rubinstein. I'm not sure if I would have played it myself. Alright, what did you choose here? I think a lot of people here would just play the simple Rook a to c8 like myself. It's a good move, and you still hold your advantage here. Here Rubinstein already notices the weakness in this game. And here, what is black's best plan? Should he go kingside? Should he go for the center? Should he go queenside? Here, again, I would have probably been on automatic mode and just played rook ac8. But after analyzing this, you definitely realize that this kingside is pretty weak over here, which is pretty cool because, again, it's a symmetrical position. And here the strong move gets played, knight to e5, looking to get rid of the only defender over here for the king. Well, white analyzed this position and said, you know what? I'll use this to my advantage. I'm going to go ahead and play knight takes, bishop takes, and pawn to f4. Now this looks like a very strong move here because, well, I'm going to be attacking this bishop. After this bishop moves away, just like in the game, let's say he goes to c7, I play e4 now, and I'm going to play e5, and this is going to be great. Believe it or not, this is already a winning position here for black. It looks like white's doing a good job by pushing forward here, but there's some nice subtleties in this position that Rubinstein is going to be taking advantage of. All right, in the game, before we start our attack, let's get our pieces into the game. Rook ac8, a nice basic move here. Pawn to e5, and here, well, it looks like a good move here. I think most people here as black are going to be playing knight to d5 here. And if this happens, well, white would be happy. All right, black's turn. What do you play here? All right, here we go. We're going to push back our opponent and start our strong attack against this king. Here I would think white just has a good position, but oof, I was wrong. Here we go. Bishop b6 check, kicking the king back. And now here is the real strong move that starts this attack. What do we play here? Knight to g4. What a beautiful move here. After this move, the attack becomes very apparent. Look at these bishops that are just raining down on this king. The knight now joins it. Both rooks are ready to attack, and the queen is ready to jump over here to the king side. And, well, because that knight was taken off, this king is very vulnerable. All right, let's look at some variations here. Is this just a free knight? It is not. Queen takes g4 would take you into the worst position here. After rook takes d3, these rooks have become to create some havoc, and you're already being threatened to lose some material over here. Rook d2 is also a very huge threat, attacking the g2 pawn and also the bishop on b2. Be careful, be careful. You could definitely lose this game very fast. All right, in the game, he goes ahead and plays bishop to e4. Makes sense. Whenever you're being attacked, try to trade off some pieces, right? Oh gosh, here we go. Man, I will challenge you. Stop, push pause, try to figure out what you would be trying to play next. These next few moves are all beautiful, and they're all very forced moves. In fact, you probably can find different ways to win in this position, but Rubinstein, of course, was able to play this position and find it himself without nobody whispering in his ear, hey, find the best moves. All right, here we go. Let's keep moving forward. Queen to h4 gets played, trying to provoke the threat of this h-pawn over here. Of course, most people here would look about playing pawn to h3. And here, well, I don't want to spoil the move because the move that would get played here will actually be good in other variations. So let's go back to the main game. But with that in mind, you can go ahead and go back to this and use that same concept later on. All right, here we go. Queen h4, g3. This is exactly what he wants right here. All right. My challenge to you, push pause again. See if you can find the incredible combination here for Rubinstein. We're already up -12, more than a queen here, and no material has lost the board. All right, here we go. This is a beautiful move. Rook takes on c3. Oh my gosh, what is going on here? I just moved over here to attack the bishop. He doesn't take it. Instead, he gets rid of my knight for some reason. The queen is hanging. What is going on here? I guess let's start looking at variations. In the game, he does play to take the queen, so we'll look at that last, which is a forced mate, by the way. We'll look at that forced mate in a second. Let's look at some other moves here. Bishop takes on b7, simple chess. Here you'll just play something like rook takes on g3. And, well, yeah, you have to be careful. Rook h3 is the next threat here. Obviously, pawn can't take back because of the pin. So rook h3 is coming up next, and rook takes h2. Again, very strong threat that really can't be parried. Okay, so you can't take the free bishop. What about this rook? Bishop takes on c3. Ugh. You just got checkmated again. Can you find it? Checkmate at 4. Here we go. Bishop takes on e4 check. Okay, what do you play here? Rook f3 is the only move. These bishops are just cutting through. Obviously, you can't play queen takes on e4, as queen takes h2 is checkmate. So rook f3 gets played. And again, the same kind of idea. Bishop takes on f3 check. I love this kind of move. Queen g2. Just stop. No. Checkmate. Good game. Incorrect. All right. We'll go with the final variation here, which is the forced checkmate. We're going to go ahead and play. Pawn takes queen, and it is a forced checkmate here. The next amazing move here. Push pause. Please try to find this move. Force this beautiful checkmate. It's always nice when you can get a checkmate without the queens. We're doing it right now. What do you play? All right, here we go. The next amazing move here is rook to d2, a very nice deflection. Here we want to play bishop takes on e4, but of course the queen is defending. So rook d2 is trying to displace the queen. Well, I mean, what else do you play here? If you just try and grab on b7, I mean, they'll take your queen. So rook takes, queen takes rook. Bishop takes on e4 check. Oh my gosh, can this king really not move anywhere? Queen g2 gets played, and here another beautiful move. Here a lot of people will miss this. You'll go ahead and grab this queen right away. You're still winning, but why not force mate in 4? What do you play? Rook h3. Oh my gosh, rook takes h2 is check and mate, and there is no good way to stop this. The computer's giving moves like we can block for a few seconds, but it's just not going to work. In every variation, it's just terrible here. I mean, again, if you just try to move like a rook a to c1, threatening the back rank checkmate, again, don't take the queen. Rook h2 is going to be check and mate. In the game, he goes ahead and plays queen takes on e4 and rook takes h2. Beautiful check and mate. Hope you enjoyed this game. This is Rubinstein's Heritage. Also, I would just go ahead and say Rubinstein's Immortal because this is such a beautiful game. Only a few inaccuracies are played, and he just gets demolished and wiped off the board. Well, hope you enjoyed this instructive chess venture. We'll see you in the next one.